YouTube, what is going on? Theo Bean here, and today we are talking about the latest changes to Persona 5X, specifically the 1.1 update, which just dropped late last night or very early this morning, however you want to put it, here in the West, and essentially all the drama now surrounding this thing. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first of all, what's going on? Long story short, we have already, I think it's only been 3 weeks, we have our 1.1 update here, and just to kind of show, we have our updated banners here. We have Yui, we have Marion, their weapons, and of course we still have Joker here for 12 more days. And now we have these two here. So the 1.0 update has already dropped over 3 weeks, which is insanely short time period, especially considering compared to other games. The 1.0 update from 1.0 to 1.1 is usually a little bit longer because there's the most content when the game first comes out, as opposed to now, right? Because what essentially happening is we are on a sped up timetable to help us get caught up to China and current that is currently out for P5X. So what does this mean? We're essentially going to break down the pros and cons of all this what is essentially happening to our version, the Western version here, for us. So let's start with the pros. First things first, right? We essentially get more content faster. So if we're getting a 1.1 to 1.2, 1.3, those updates every 3 weeks or so, this is going to go very fast. One good thing about that is it's going to essentially help the content stay fresh. There's constantly going to be new stuff coming out and stuff to do. I still have to finish up Palace 2, which I just hit on my account, level 50, and I'm still doing that. I haven't had much time to play. I'm still trying to finish up the Palace. Now I'm trying to farm materials to get everybody up to level 60 currently. So that's essentially what's going on for me. So we're constantly going to have stuff to do, which is nice. It's going to help the games to stay refreshed, especially with the gacha being a live service game. What tends to happen is in between patches, you kind of go through everything in maybe a week or two, depending on how much or little you play. For people that are a bit more serious about it, you can get through the content pretty quickly. Usually a 0.1 or next patch update essentially comes with like maybe 4 to 6 hours of story content plus your dailies and things like that. This still continues. Then you got your new events and things like that and so forth, right? Pretty standard across the board. So what's going to be nice is eventually when we get to a point where we are caught up and we are kind of going through the P3R content, which is kind of what they're still going through to my knowledge over in China. It'll be nice once we do get to a point where we're caught up, because any future updates or things that come out, you know, it's not going to be like, oh, well, we already know this because, well, we've already seen this. It's going to be new for everybody. So that's kind of exciting that way. Not much is something, but it is something, right? And with this, right, since the fact that we are getting content updates faster, that means we're going to be getting these events faster, which means we're getting more currency over a shorter period of time. And that kind of transitions me into the cons, right? So let's talk about that. So less time for us to go through stuff also means we also get less rewards from doing things like our dailies, right? So going over to your goals here, getting these gems for completing this 4 times a day, your weekly, our banners here, so we have the rewards from that, our daily shop, these rewards, weekly stuff that is reset. So like for instance here as well, going to the Velvet Room, or more specifically need to go to the Velvet Trials. Where is that? Actually, here I can do this. Nope, that's not it. So this essential content right here, right, where we have our Velvet Trials, and here, this is just reoccurring. This is not reoccurring. This is static. This is set. You just go through that until you complete everything. This is reoccurring and this resets. So if we're having less time, we essentially get less time to do this, which means ultimately less rewards from doing this, right? We're going to have weeks reduced or gone to do these and the extra essential rewards that we get from doing them, right? So coming here, and as you'll see, right, we do get rewards for completing these. So this is something that we are losing out on. So in one way we're getting more, and another way we are getting less. Next thing that's kind of a ban is we're just constantly getting different banners. So coming back here as well, looking at the different banners, as of today we can now pull for Yui as well as for Marion, and this is just, I mean, it's just a lot, right? I'm curious to see at what point, as soon as Joker's gone, are we getting 2 more characters? Are we getting 1 more character? We don't really know. Another problem with this too is kind of going through this banner. So this is perfect time to talk about this. So with Marion, right, in the China version of the game, the original game that version that came out, after Marion's limited banner expired, she went on to the standard banner. And then if you would come into here, it gives you the list of everybody that is available. So for your 5 stars, right? And then she became one of these people added on as a 5-star Phantom Thief. Well, that is not happening when her banner expires. And the fact of the matter is, we don't know when that will happen. It has been confirmed that she will not go into the standard banner when this limited banner expires, which is in 12 days, which is the same amount of time as with Joker. So people aren't sure because when her banner originally came out, it was in the 1.2 version for China. So people aren't sure if maybe once 1.2 passes on for here, she'll be added on to then, or it might not even be till 2.0, or who knows. So from the information the live streams that essentially came out, they said that her banner will not be she will not be entering the standard banner right away. So implying that she will be added, but at a later date. So we essentially don't know when. So this also gives more of an emphasis for people to essentially pull on her, right? I think a lot of the one thing that they're trying to do is just to help, as this being a gacha game, it's a business. Its goal is to make money. And it does that by, we go here instead, by having you spend money. As you'll see, I spent $5 today when I bought this. And that's essentially what they want. We have these new sets here, like this is pretty insane. 10 tickets, these 4 Hermit's increase, which I cannot use yet. As well as a bunch of other materials, all for $12.50. It's a lot of resources for the equivalent of that, considering the fact that, say for crystals, the equivalent of a pull, which is 150 of these, is more than $1, and you're getting 10 plus a bunch of other shit for barely over $10. So again, right, at the end of the day, the sole purpose for Black Wings and for Atlas, right, the people that make P5X, is to make money. And that's kind of what it feels like they're trying to do with these changes, is just to help make money. People are like, oh well, this character's only here for so long, I better spend, right? That being said, Yui has apparently also been buffed. She was kind of considered a skip when she came out in 1.1. I don't know how good she is now. I have not seen anything like that. I'm sure somebody will talk about that literally today or within the upcoming weeks when she's been tested out and see how her damage numbers compared to things like that in the meta. And to my knowledge, there will be a character coming out in the future who was considered a must pull, who will buff her. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that is the case. So next thing I want to talk about is with the update last night. I get home, I was planning to get on at 7. Right after I get home, I eat, shower after work, and when I get on to do my dailies, well, I couldn't last night because they're doing maintenance. They started right at 7 o'clock, and it was a 7-hour maintenance, which is pretty significant. I got a badge for barely doing this content. That's great. Anyways, so we got these rewards here, We got this, we got 100 gems, and we also got 100 gems, so we got 200 gems in total. Actually, that's my Sea of Souls ranking rewards, so that's actually not even from that. So I think this is literally, this is 1.1, so we literally got 100 gems for a 7-hour maintenance. I think that is, I'm gonna be completely honest, I think that's absolute dog shit. I think that's terrible. Coming from playing games like Honkai and Genshin I haven't played in years, and I'm on and off in Genshin, or sorry, I'm on and off in Honkai Star Rail. But getting 600 for maintenance is pretty fair, especially when they're like 6 hours. I believe their whole thing is you get 100 per an hour. We got 100 gems for 7 hours. I think that's absolutely terrible. Yes, we did get some other resources, but at the end of the day, when it comes to this, we get a coffee, right, and things like this. But this is by far the most important currency in the game, and it's not even close. In any sort of gacha, the currency you use to pull characters is the most important thing, bar none. Because at the end of the day, that's what you spend money for, is for limited resources and characters, in this case characters and weapons, and this is what you need specifically for this. So that said, getting 100 gems feels like a kick in the nuts, I'm gonna be honest. Another thing, so we're kind of jumping all over the place. There's a lot to talk about here, there's a lot going on. So with that all said, we're pretty much getting more and less at the same time. Sure, we're getting more quicker, but we also get a chance to achieve less in less amount of time, if that makes sense. That's kind of the condensed version of that. Next is one thing that I'm going to talk about, and I don't know when this is going to happen. We still don't have 100% banner to pull on. It's in live. I believe it came out in 1.2 or 1.4, maybe a later date, but it's out there, it's in the game for the Chinese version, so why not just put it in here? I still don't understand that, why that wasn't just implemented from day one. 1.1 update, we still don't have it, why, I don't know. I think that's just such a stupid yet easy fix. Next is this other thing as well is coming to here. We have the business plans. We have business plan 1 and 2. Once you complete 1 completely, you will now get access to business plan 3. I still have to finish 1, but as of 1.1, this is now available today. So it is confirmed that originally when the Chinese version dropped, then business plans 3 and 4 came out, you could get a free constellation for the standard banner characters. So coming back here and accessing the standard banner, this meant that you could get a free constellation for Ryuji, Morgana, and Yao and Haruna, as well as Marion, because Marion was added into the standard banner. The same thing goes for her weapon as well. Well, that is now not the case. You cannot get those extra constellations, which is the equivalent of an awakening. So coming back here to the thieves, let's just click on Joker for instance. You go to training, your awareness, sorry, not awakening, it is your awareness. These are the equivalent of your constellations or to your eidolons, right? For different characters. That's what essentially those are. And you could get a free version for any of the standard banner characters, Marion included, because she was added. It is now confirmed, since 1.1 is out, that neither of Marion's constellation or her weapon are available on that business plan. So that also feels pretty shitty, and that's assumedly just due to the timetable for being out now as opposed to in the future, and how all this is playing out. So with all that said, what does this all mean? Ultimately, I feel like these moves are a bit on the greedy side, and pushes for whaling. It's definitely a push for whaling over being free to play. And one of my biggest things that I was really looking forward to in this game was how people talked about during the Chinese version in the live. This game was very free to play friendly. In some ways it still definitely is. In other ways we're kind of getting screwed over in others. So it's give or take, and it's left me with mixed emotions, obviously, and from my understanding it's been kind of that same way for other people as well. I'm gonna open up Steam here, and looking at this game for P5X, where is this? I want to go into the, where's the community hub for this game? Here it is, the community hub. So when this originally was out, I had mostly positive reviews. Since the 1.1 update, people have been very upset, and it has essentially gone down to mixed reviews. Where is this? It's discussions. Here we go. Here's a bunch of comments, right? I'm hoping there's such a good feeling being robbed of Marion from the business plan, right? You're gonna see a bunch of stuff. We got less gems by mail than Asia, and we got 2 50 Chinese player here than they going to Milk Europe, and maintenance rewards are also lesser. Chinese and Korea playable in English, guys. Don't spend money here, you're gonna regret it. There's a lot of comments like this, right? So are you going to address why there's no soft pity? I think this did get addressed, that there was. It just didn't feel like it. I mean, I'll be honest, I kind of felt that way, and then the weapon banner, I pulled in like 40 for Joker's weapon and got lucky. But that being said, it is receiving a lot of mixed feedback now, and people are clearly not happy about it. This hilarious gif of the Subway Slammer destroying Vegeta, because to the Subway Slammers. So people are not happy, and here we're going here, right? We're seeing a lot more of this. This is on July 10th, July 9th, right? So these are literally the last few days. 74 hours, 137 hours, 3.7 hours. This negative review solely to say that if this is your first experience with franchise, please go play another Persona game and not this gotcha slop, where the skin of Persona 5 and an overall far worse experience and plot. Yeah, people aren't happy, and I think during this is a good time. I want to let everybody know these are the best times to voice your opinion, whether it be through surveys, which we will be getting very soon. They are definitely going to be sending surveys out here in the mail, probably within the next week or so, once 1.1 has been out for a little bit. I guarantee you there's a lot of discourse on social media. They are seeing the discourse there and how pissed people are. How pissed off people are. Best thing to do is just to voice exactly how you feel, because at the end of the day, that's what matters, and that's your voice, right? Whether you think they may or may not do something, I guarantee you that these devs are watching and they are listening. So it is important to say exactly how you feel. For me personally, again, I am a bit upset. I think this tends to lean towards the bad than the good by a little bit. I'd say maybe 10%. If we're sitting in the middle, we're like at 40%. So anything above 50 being good, anything below 50 being bad. That's kind of how I view this all. It's still a lot of stuff that we don't know, but just given the forecast and how things are, this thing's being sped up definitely has some pros to it, but from how we are being compensated, this feels like a kick in the ass, and I hope that they do right to correct that, because if they really want us to play the game and to make money off of it, I mean, just do right. I personally, when it ever comes to any gacha, am more willing to spend money on a game I feel like I will get my worth from, is something that I enjoy. If I feel like you're just after my credit card, I will honestly just stop playing your game, and that'll be the last thing you get. Granted, I will say this, compared to most gamers, I have more willpower. I'm somebody that will vote with my wallet, and if I feel like a game that's coming out is just literally being greedy and cutting corners, I will honestly say screw you and just not play it or pay for it. That being said, that is the exception, right? Now, I don't want to go on tangents and things like that. That's an entirely different discussion, but I think you get the point. So there it is. A little yapping and rambling going on there, but it is kind of a sensitive topic. I have thoroughly enjoyed this game. I've said that before in my last video. And I want to see this game do right, and I want to see this game succeed. I have enjoyed it. That being said, though, I hope that the devs do right with Atlas as well as with Black Wings, and that we get what we deserve, and that they're not just going to cut corners and just try to milk the West as much as possible and just get dollars out of this. So that's going to be it, guys. That's it for the video. You know, I am a bit upset, but ultimately there's still time for things to change, and there's no indication that the game is like ruined. It's not dead. It's just, you know, we might not be able to pull for as many characters as we might have wanted ultimately in the end. Once time goes on, I'm sure there will get people doing the math and calculating everything out. How does this look per time period compared to what we had when the game first released in China? Comparatively, are we getting more? Are we getting less? Things like that. It's looking like less. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching. If you found this information helpful, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I still have more videos to come out with. Work has been crazy, but wanted to put this out since 1.1 did just finally drop in my thoughts. So with it, guys, thank you so much for watching again. Leave a comment down below your thoughts on 1.1, how you think about all this. Are you going to keep playing? Are you done? I'm curious to see what you guys think. But with that, I will see you guys in the next one. Until next time, peace and deuces. See ya.